my subconscious when I try to meditate. Fragrance YouTubers trying to think up another premise for a top 10 video.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
And this is me before I go to the bathroom the morning after a lamb vindaloo.
You'd better put in a call to the Red Cross and get the ambulances lined up, because this is one earthquake that you can predict, and when it hits, complete devastation!
Hello folks, welcome back to the show. Today we're going to look at 7 fragrances that say I'm classy, real classy, kind of modern releases, at least let's say last 10 or 15 years in terms of release date. So somewhat modern releases that say I'm classy, a little bit different to your normal top 10 list, maybe from other reviewers. By the way guys, if you need to get fragrance samples in the United States, Canada or Puerto Rico, please do go to myfragrancesamples.com. There is a link in the description. That is the number 1 place recommended by me in the States to get that amazing range of designer and niche fragrance samples. Also, please don't forget, we now have available for you guys Chypre Fulminare by Naughton & Wilson. It was released in late November, and we've had amazing sales and amazing reviews. Currently, as I do this video, but check, because I don't know when you're watching it, it's sold out in the USA, but it's still available in the UK. Don't miss out. We're producing some more soon, but you don't want to miss out if you're in the UK, so go to naughtonandwilson.com. Okay, guys, let's get into it then. So we're talking about 7 classy fragrances. Let's get stuck in. First up then, you can see it in the cover of this video, the thumbnail, Royal Oud. I think it was a 2011 video. Now, if you want something really classy and gentlemanly, but you maybe don't want something slightly old-fashioned smelling like my favourite Bois de Portugal, or maybe Green Irish Tweed also can be a little bit old school, you want to go maybe for Royal Oud, okay? This is a stunning, fresh fragrance. Don't worry, it doesn't really smell of oud, okay? Then that's the only downside. It's kind of deceptive in the name. This is a fresh, woody fragrance. It's got a beautiful citrusy opening, pink pepper in there. There's galbanum giving this greenness, and it's also got a really nice crisp cedarwood note. It is very classic, but it's kind of a modernized take on a classic woody citrusy vibe. It is really nice, fresh, affable, a little bit of depth and woodiness, almost a kind of ashy woody undertone to it. It may not be to every single person's taste, so perhaps try before you buy it, but this is very gentlemanly, grown up, classy, sort of a modern take on a classic manly aura, if you know what I mean, and fresh and approachable too. Really classy stuff. Clement CC, regular guest on my live streams and a great friend, really likes this one from Creed. Let's move on. Okay guys, so next up I'm going to recommend for you Chanel pour Masseur, the Eau de Parfum. I think this was released in 2016, and it is of course the cousin to the original Chanel pour Masseur Eau de Toilette from the 1950s. Now the Eau de Parfum has many of the same features. Again, a green bergamot opening, a little bit of spiciness, woody accords, some lavender in this one, and a little bit of nice deep rich vetiver in the base. And this one just darkens up the theme of the slightly weak and not projecting that strongly Eau de Toilette. Darkens it up, makes it richer. It's sort of the classic way an Eau de Parfum should be in relation to its Eau de Toilette originator. Just a little bit more depth, a little bit more warmth, a little bit more complexity maybe, and this works really well therefore in the autumn and the winter and all year round as a very classy, slightly old school smelling, but reasonably recently released fantastic masculine fragrance. Check it out. Okay, now for something completely different. Guerlain, L'Instant de Guerlain, just the Eau de Toilette version. This is Guerlain, such a great house for this kind of category of all their fragrances tend to ooze class. This one reasonably affordable online. The previous two, obviously Chanel, expensive as designers go. The Creed Royal Oud will be expensive depending where you are in the world, but yeah, always going to be pricey. L'Instant de Guerlain, reasonably affordable online. I've got a 50ml here. This has again beautiful fresh citrusy opening, and then it has this fantastic chocolatey patchouli undertone. It's got almost a semi-gourmand thing with this hint of cacao, but it's never overly sweet. It doesn't smell like a chocolate mousse or something. And it also has this kind of undertone of the so-called Guerlainade from Guerlain, which is this kind of fresh yet sweet powdery undertone that so many Guerlains have and just reeks of pure class. It's sort of powdery, fresh, with a hint of chocolatiness. Very approachable, very cuddly kind of scent, and yet it has this classiness to it. So a really great option if you have an ever so slightly sweet tooth, but you also like smelling fresh at the same time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Next up, I'm bending the rules because really this is a reissue, but 2016 saw the re-release of Jewels from Dior, 1980 original. Amazing, fresh, woody, aromatic fragrance, okay? This is bitter and green in the opening. It has a ton of depth. It has woods. It has herbal aromatics. And it's compared to maybe the things of the same time. So things like Kouros from Yves Saint Laurent came out in 81, as did Chanel's Antaeus. So I guess Dior, this was their thing in an equivalent category, which came up before both. This one actually much less pissy, as they say. I don't know about this pissiness in Kouros, but yeah, less off-putting, musky and animalic than Kouros, but it does have an air of that sort of rugged masculinity, but a little bit more of a refined version. Much fresher and greener than Chanel's Antaeus, which has a deep kind of resinous undertone and castoreum and leatheriness. This one, green, bitter, fresh, woody, complex, very old school smell, but I think it's timeless. I think it works in any decade. So Jewels by Dior, if you can track it down. A little bit hard to find that one sometimes, but you should be able to online if you try. Okay, next one. I've got to put this in. Terre d'Hermès, just the original, the Eau de Toilette, all the flankers, all very well and good. There's still nothing really beats the original. 2006 release, perfume of Jean-Claude Eleanor. Fantastic, dirty, earthy orange smell. So a mixture of orange, a lot of isoe soup, which is, not soup, isoe super, which is a kind of fresh, airy, woody accord that works in a lot of fragrances. And there's vetiver in this one too. So you've got orange and vetiver are two of your main things that you're going to pick up. It's very classy. It's very all year round. It's very any occasion, but it reeks of a kind of sophistication. Very, very appealing. Women seem to really love this. Again, Clement CC, big fan of this one. Terre d'Hermès, if you just want to smell classy with a mainstream designer release that isn't going to completely break the bank, although it's not dirt cheap, I would say definitely check out Terre d'Hermès.
You want to buy it, you buy it. You don't want to buy it, don't buy it. They give me jack shit, jack shit, jack shit.
Okay, one more from Guerlain. I'm sorry, this is a unisex fragrance. It's actually marketed towards women. And actually, I've just cheated the rules. This is not a modern release at all. I forgot myself. Mitsuko. Check out Mitsuko from Guerlain. The ultimate chypre fragrance for me. If you want to know what a chypre is, so it's green, it's bitter, it's got olibanum and or labdanum for a sort of incensey-esque undertone, woods and oak moss. It's very smooth, it's classic, it's a little green and bitter, and yet it has this resinous hint of something semi or exotic, very, very mysterious, classy, grown-up, dapper kind of gentleman or lady fragrance. Totally unisex. Men can wear this. Go for an under-the-radar gem, and not too expensive if you buy it online. Mitsuko, that's just the Eau de Toilette. Finally, if you want to splash out a little bit more money, the only Roger I've actually got, Roger Parfum Scandal, and this is the Parfum Pour Homme. There's a Parfum Cologne that's similar in smell. Amazing aromatic fougere, which is leaning towards the citrusy end of the aromatic fougere genre. I think it was released about 2014-ish, roughly. Similar maybe in some ways to the vintage formula of Dior's Eau Sauvage, which is amazing. It has a very, very crisp, fresh, citrusy opening. A lot of different notes, everything but the kitchen sink note listing. So you've got all these kind of herbal aromatic accords, rosemary and stuff in there. Many different woods in there, a little bit of lavender. Really, really dapper, gentlemanly, classy, fresh, woody, very grown-up smelling indeed. You have to kind of, I don't think it's really a t-shirt and shorts type of smell. You have to be looking smart. So good for work. Maybe good for dates if you're dressed a little bit smart on your date. Just a great, great, great classic. Very expensive though. Performance on all these, okay. I don't really get into performance. None of these suck in performance, okay, to be completely honest with you. And if they did, if they were really that bad, I wouldn't include them, okay. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't, please subscribe. Maybe the next one will be better. But please subscribe to the channel. Then you might see other videos that you like too. I will leave it there for you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, sometimes life may stink, but at least we can always smell good. Bye-bye.